All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mack here on 1010XL's podcast platform, 1010XL.com, of course. Make sure you download the free app, 1010XL app. You can listen to all these great podcasts right from the 1010XL podcast studio that I am in currently. And, of course, you can always check out what they've got going on the terrestrial side of the radio on your car dial or wherever else you listen, and yeah, it's free. So come on, let's get into it. We got a lot to get into. Brought to you by Team Tommy Mack, my great group of businesses that I love endorsing, man. I really do. They do some great work, fantastic stuff. Anytime you need them, they are there for you, and I'll go through the list as we go on. I did get a new hat. Yes, it's the second round. I mean, these hats. He's like, yeah, it's a big head. Well, nobody has quite as big a head as I do. Let's see how that fits. Little J-Dog, junk removal and hauling, man. Not a bad-looking hat. How about that? All right, so I wear it for the show. I wore it all day yesterday down at RV City, which I'm headed back with my beautiful bride after this show. We're going back to have a good time and safe driving, of course, but going to have a good time down at RV City. Had a great time this week. The Horse's Mouth, thank you for everybody for showing up. Always a good time. Riding Shotgun, Damian Starkey of Puddle of Mud fame, and many other musical talents from that young man, and great to have him on Riding Shotgun as we hauled through St. Augustine. Yeah, we left from the Fields Cadillac dealership, one of Team Tommy Mack and title sponsor of Riding Shotgun, and we cruised up and down 95, talking about career, life, music, everything else in between. He's out of Englewood High School, too. How about that? Brett Myers. And, of course, you've got Rasheed Mathis, Daniel Murphy. I mean, and then Damian Starkey on the music side, man. Had his first record deal at age 18 with Burn Season. So it's cool stuff. That show's all about getting celebrities in that seat, that shotgun seat. This show, of course, is all about our Jacksonville Jaguars as they have to take on and go up to Philadelphia, the 5-2 Philadephia Eagles, winners of 3 in a row, playing a lot better on defense, still putting together some pretty explosive offense. We'll talk about that. We'll get into our Jags, a lot of injuries. No Kirk, no Ezra Cleveland this week. And we got some game time decisions we'll talk about. We'll get into Cam Robinson as he has now departed our Jacksonville Jaguars, sent to the Minnesota Vikings for a 2026 future draft pick. Could be up to a 4th rounder. And, of course, we'll break down the Jags and Philly, look at team stats and whatnot. But I'm going to start this show with the best news of my morning anyway, when I woke up and saw that Coach Coughlin has made it into the next phase, the next step towards a Hall of Fame jacket. He is one of 9 coaching candidates, and only one, he's one of 9, and only one will advance to the next one, that then you'll be presented to the Hall of Fame committee. He joins, of course, Mike Holmgren, Mike Shanahan, George Seifert, Chuck Knox, Dan Reeves, Marty Schottenheimer, and Clark Shaughnessy. I don't know Shaughnessy that well, but those other guys, very good coaches. Couple winners of Super Bowls in there, along with Coach Coughlin, Mike Shanahan, of course, George Seifert with the San Francisco 49ers. So good company there. Mike Holmgren's there as well. And, he was a great coach also. But, look, Coach Coughlin, very deserving. He's a Hall of Famer in my book, always will be. You take the New York Giants against the Pats, beating them both times, head-to-head, beating Belichick, winning the Super Bowl twice. What he did here in Jacksonville is just, and like Dempsey said on Jaguars Today with Fat Tony, Mike Dempsey in the pocket said, just got off the airwaves. He's like, and the way he built Jacksonville earlier, he's a GM. He was a GM along with Michael Hugh, our executive vice president, who handled a lot of the contracts and whatnot. But Tom picked the talent along with Michael, and then he coached them up. And again, that's why we were successful. And that's why you go back to Parcells with that famous quote about, look, if you want me to coach these guys, I want to go shopping for the groceries. Like, I want to bring in my kind of guys. I don't want to have to go through this rigmarole of, my GM's telling me I got to play this guy or that guy, and he's not best for the team, although he's drafted high and he's got a big contract, so I got to abide by that and all that garbage. We're seeing that, by the way, with Eric Armstead, and I knew this was going on, and it's very upsetting to me that, and I'm not, I am upset at Eric. I think you should do whatever it takes for the team to be successful. I don't think what you want individually should be put in front of the team. At the same time, why did Trent Baalke sign him in the first place? Now it's becoming public knowledge, and it has been, but now even more so because Ryan Nielsen, defensive coordinator, talked about it yesterday, and he was asked a question. He's like, player wants to play end. When we signed him, we had this discussion. He made it clear he wants to play end. So why would you sign him then? Why? You just got done Josh Allen's humongous deal. I know you lost on Ridley. Did you try to make up for that? I don't know. You got Trayvon Walker, who's having a great year. Why did you bring in another defensive end? And by the way, when we signed him, Josh Hines Allen said what? I can't wait. He's going to be right next to me, pushing the pocket. Right. And 2 weeks ago, he probably played 70+% on the inside and did extremely well. Probably his biggest productive day in his Jaguar, early career. So put him inside. I don't get it. I get it. He doesn't want to play inside, or doesn't want to play inside as much as we need him to. But why does the players want, why is it above the team's need? Should never be that way. So that's befuddling to me. But back to TC, I'm very happy for him. I forever will hold him in my heart, because without him coming to Boston College, without him giving me a chance here in Jacksonville, and this goes for Mr. and Mrs. Weaver, Mr. Weaver especially, but without them, man, I'm not even sitting here. You know what I mean? I'm somewhere, who knows where I am. Who knows? But I don't think I'd be in Jacksonville, Florida, and this is exactly where I am supposed to be and where I want to be and where I need to be, man, and I'm forever grateful. But beyond that, look, the resume speaks for itself if you're Tom Coughlin. What he did with us for an expansion team 4 out of the 5 years was absolutely incredible. The draft picks, the free agents that he brought in, even after that time, were some of the best players we've ever had, including the number 1 pick overall. My man, Tony. Look at this. Tony Baselli for Jags EVP, a mysterious sender, sent these to the studio. I'm down. I'm done. I just want a job, Tony, that's all. And even if it's a side hustle gig, I'm cool with that. I want to be a part of the Tony Baselli administration, if that's the case, man. I'd be all for it. Look, I don't know. And what do you want him to do? Like, look, I don't think it happens with Trent Baalke still here. So you'd have to start over, which, look, if the slide continues. By the way, I don't have them winning. I have them getting their ass kicked, to be honest with you. I don't believe in this team any longer. I've been struggling with it. My picks of them winning, kind of wishful thinking, manifestation, if they would do this, if they do that. But they continue to make mistakes. They continue to make mistakes. To have, it's so frustrating, all right, to have your receivers still running that same mofo route, ending up in the same spot when you know you can't be in the same spot, but you continue to do it. And it doesn't matter the player. Could be Brian Thomas Jr., could be Kirk, no longer with us, of course. Parker Washington. I'm telling you. It's just, that's like no excuse. Like, how in the hell are you in the NFL if you don't know what the hell you're doing? Tim Jones, no, he doesn't get a lot of time at wide receiver. 2 crucial penalties. How is that guy not so excited to play wide receiver that his head is in his book all week and weekend long? Like, knowing everything. This is your opportunity. Walker Little getting an opportunity. For me, if I'm him, I got 9 games to prove that I'm the guy, that I can be the man. You just got to let me go to work. I don't know if he is. He's got to prove it. But if I'm him, I'm doing everything I can. Everything I can to be the best I can be. It's just amazing to me that this stuff is still going on. And then you add the Eric Armstead. And then you hear about Cam Robinson. Multiple reports saying he would not go into the game. He wasn't even taped. He didn't even get taped up for the game. So he knew going in he wasn't going to start, and he said, screw it then. I'm not playing. And nobody's asked him up in Minnesota, I guess. I don't know if they're gonna, but if that's true, and it's multiple reports, and from Mike Dempsey being one of them who I trust and know that who's telling him, I know them too, and, they saw it, they witnessed it. Hey, coaches and players argue. I don't care about that. I remember one of our coaches hit Big Ben Coleman with a VHS tape on the side of his face. I thought Benny was going to kill him. We were in meetings, and you heard it, and all of a sudden you hear Ben Coleman, I'm going to kill that. Classic. And then what did we do? We made up, and no big deal. We went on and played. Different time, I guess. But look, what's happening on this team is not working. So, how do you line? How do you not know where to line up? How do you not know your coverage? How you not so focused on every play? How you run the same route? They've been doing it for years. Maybe take the route out. That could be something. Excuse me. I don't know. After watching the tape again, I swear they only have like 5 or 6 pass plays that work. Not including Ingram. I mean, from the wideouts and the way they run these routes. They're doing different variations. They'll do the deep with the crosser, and then they'll put them both on the same side and have, the inside guy do a loop-de-loop that looks like a deep cross, and this guy's still – it's the same play. It's just different variations of it. That's not good. Brian Thomas Jr. sounds like he's a game-time decision. So is ETN. So is Gabe Davis. Sheriff hasn't practiced all week. He's supposed to practice today. It is what it is. You got to go out there with the guys you got to go out there with. So no Cleveland. Then I guess Hodges gets the nod. Blake Hance was brought up from the practice squad to the active roster. Maybe he's, the guy at the other guard if Sheriff can't go. And this team, Philly, they're playing some good ball. Remember early on, Sirianni on the hot seat. Things not going well, not playing well, but they've been playing pretty well. And their defense especially, they've been shutting down the run big time. And, look, I don't know. It's Tony, Fat Tony, our good friend Tony Smith was saying, like, Trevor's going to have to carry the team. And I went back and watched. He was good. He helped bring him back. There's no doubt about that. He hasn't done that for 4 quarters, and I don't really want him to have to. I want us to have a running game. We're at our best when we can run the ball and then do play action and keep them off balance. That's when we're at our best. We're not at our best throwing the ball 50 times a game. We've never shown that. And if we have, it's been rare. Keep it in the offense. By the way, you should have started running earlier last week. I swear, last week in the beginning of the game, it felt like, okay, Jordan Love, new contract, Trevor, new contract. Hey, we're going to show he's just as good. We're going to, show this, I think we passed on the first 3 downs, 3 and out, didn't work. You got to have that run game, man. Tank had 17, 18 carries. He should have had 25. And it just runs the offense better. Again, and yards are so overrated. Threw for 300 yards. Who cares? Who cares how many yards you throw for? I think look, I did the breakdown. 4,000 yards in a year is not that impressive. It's 220 yards a game. So what? 4,500 goes up to like 250. 3,000 or 5,000 yards is 293 a game. That's something. You want to average that? I don't need my quarterback to average. I'm just saying, like, yards are way overrated. And when they go into shell coverage and let you just pitch and catch to your guys and they're just going to tackle you, that, you're supposed to do that. But he did. He delivered. But can he deliver the whole game? I think he needs more help. And if you're going to rely on the passing game, man, I mean, your offensive line better be stout. They got some ball players on that side. They have been run on, except the last 3 games they've shut it down. And they're on a 3 game win streak at 5-2. So they're going to have they've got the team. Fourth down, 11 of 15 for Philly. We'll go through team stats. Saquon Barkley adding 5.9 yards per carry. Can we stop their run? Do we have a shot at even coming close? Not if you're going to keep Armstead outside. I don't think you do. And what about Mason Smith? Are you going to play him this week? I got an idea. If you want to, excuse me, if you want to keep Armstead at end from time to time, go Mason Smith next to him. Go Mason Smith, maybe Jordan Jefferson. By the way, I made a tweet last week. I think I corrected myself. That Hamilton and Ledbetter and Lacey didn't do anything last week. I take that back. They were okay. I mean, they're not dominant, but they were plays. They made a few plays, more than one. I said they only made one, but it's just not good enough. And then you got, this whole thing with Eric Armstead really bothers me. That you would agree to letting him play end more than tackle. He's never shown that he's a great defensive end. He's a great defensive tackle because he has a built-in swim move. It's built in. He's 6'8". And most guards aren't 6'8". I know ours, I know Ezra's like 6'7" or 6'6". He's a big guard, but a lot of guards are 6'4", 6'5". That's an easy swim. And he's good at that. He is, Eric Armstead. He's very effective. And then you got Ryan Nielsen coming out saying, well, that's what the player wants. Well, fuck that. I'm sorry. I don't care what the player wants. When was that ever, more important than what the team needs? Unbelievable. But you got your work cut out for you, man. Jalen Hurts is, he's coming along. 8.1 yards per attempt at 70%. By the way, that's what we give up on defense, so I expect him to throw the ball around. I want to see, look, last time we played Philly, I know it was raining. I know there was sloppy ball handling. But what cost us the game was, back then it wasn't Saquon, which is worrisome. It was a guy that went to Miles Sanders. Remember that? Was that last year, 2 years ago? It was 2 years ago. And I remember watching that game, and they started pounding the rock, and we couldn't stop them. And that's when I was like, okay, this team is not that physically tough, emotionally tough, because teams are going to smack them in the mouth and run all over them. They did that day. And then I think it happened different times during that year. It finally settled down after the Cowboys when we were, came back making plays there. But I don't know, man. These guys are going to pound it on. Landon Dickerson's a beast of a guard. He's not 6'9". I thought he was like 6'9". 6'6", 330. He's mean. He's going to get after it. Do we have those dogs, that's not going to get pushed around? I don't know. I'm sorry. I've lost faith in this team, and I want them to win. But more there's not anybody out there wants them to win more than me, but I'm a realist too. And I just don't see it happening, especially when we continue to not do the right things out on the football field, whether it's being lost in space and coverage, whether it's missing blocks, whether it's, whatever, turning the ball over, not putting the ball in the right spot. I tell you, Trevor, and it's, again, by the way, the promo, people went nuts over the promo last Monday because it wasn't all about Trevor. I was talking about the little things that you have to do to be a good football team. I came up with one example. I said more during the week, like the receivers running into the same spot, like little things like that, like not being an illegal motion, not false starting, not jumping off sides. How do you false start on punt when you're the gunner? You know what I mean? Like, what is that? You're waiting for the ball to be snapped. How would that ever, like, that little things? That 3rd and 2, if he hits Johnson where he's supposed to, right in front, he's got to step. I'm not saying he scores a touchdown, but you don't go 3 and out in the opening drive of the second half. Who knows after that? Little plays like that. Little routine stuff like that you just got to make. And it's not just a quarterback, but there's a lot of them. You make too many mistakes. And if you make them against, the only way you're going to even come close to running with Philly is if you don't make mistakes. Like zero. Is that too much to ask? Oh, every team makes mistakes. No, not every team makes mistakes. Not enough to where it hurts them, costing you games. I mean, you had them last week. You had that game. And it was a valiant effort by Trevor and the offense to come back. They also cost us part of it. But our defense sucked again. I mean, gosh, you know, then that's the thing. You get something cooking good, and then the other side sucks. Or the other side finally picks it up, and then the offense goes 3-and-out because for whatever reason. You know, it's never. Can we get a game that it just everybody just it flows? You were 1 of 9 on third down on offense last week. 1 of 9. How do you survive? How do you win a close game, especially? You don't. Is the answer. They got their hands full, man. They got their hands full, and you know what? But you know, they're grown-ass men, too. Put your biggest and baddest people on the defense. I got to think that Mason Smith is one of them. So, because, by the way, when you hear this stuff about Eric Armstead, you know now what's going on with Mason Smith. There's some tug and pull here between the GM and the head coach. You know, Ryan Nielsen in his press conference, he said all the right things, but what he was saying was Eric Armstead doesn't want to play tackle. And we're trying to let the player decide, I guess, or whatever. Like, screw that. So that means there's a push and pull between the GM and the head and the coaching staff. There's got to be. 2 weeks ago, Eric Armstead played 70% inside, played great. Last week, 3 to 5 snaps. Didn't do anything, doesn't do anything at defensive end, other than hustling down on the back end a couple times. I got to give him that. But other than that, he's not effective. So what do you think's happening with Mason Smith? You know what's happening. For whatever reason, I don't know. Doug has the final 48. That's been public knowledge. He decides who the 48 players are for that week. Why not Mason Smith? Oh, he got hurt. Oh, did he? And how bad? Like catastrophic, high ankle sprain, can't go for a few weeks? Or a little nick that maybe we tape up and shoot it up and he can go out there and play. I think there's some kind of crap going on inside with that. And I'm telling you right now, man, if the slide keeps going, you just got to get rid of them all. Don't you dare keep anybody. I'm sorry, Trent. You cannot pick our next coach. He'll just be a puppet. He won't be somebody. And by the way, if I'm Shad Khan, and the slide keeps going, I'm going to go to the guy who told me we had the best freaking roster ever and fire his ass. Wouldn't you? I thought you told me we had the best talent ever. We do, but it's not me. It's him. Can't you see it? That's what's going to happen. These guys will start saving their own ass. And then Doug's going to be like, well, wait a minute. That's not true. He's not giving me the right guys. I need better guys. I need guys that are conducive to how I coach. I don't need a veteran defensive lineman telling me where he's going to play. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? And if you knew that was going to be the case, Trent, why'd you sign him? Because maybe you didn't give a shit? Because look at me. It's me. It's not them. I don't know, man. It's just, it's not good. The smell test is very it's awful. It smells like, you know what, horse manure. I'm sick of it. This is crazy, man. This team should not be 2-6, but they are. And they're not very good. Let's go to the team stat review. You know what I'm doing today? Grammage. We do it pretty much every Friday during this week. Grabbing the wife after the show. We're going down to RV City, and we're going to have a really good time. Because Fridays before Florida, Georgia at RV City, especially right around happy hour time, people getting off work, light a match. It's absolutely spectacular. That's what I'm doing today. And I'm going to have a good old time, whether our team sucks, the Jags suck or not. I don't care. Today is all about fun day. No doubt about it. And then I won't go down tomorrow. It'll be too crazy. Dad Bods play tomorrow night at a private party. The English, thank you again for having us. I'm dressing up as Jackie Moon without the fro. It's a Will Ferrell-themed party. So Jackie Moon was semi-pro, I believe. So I got the jersey. It's actually a cool-looking jersey. I might wear it on occasion. A headband, wristbands. We'll be ready to rock and roll.
Who's your drummer?
My drummer is Derek White.
Okay, well, Derek, he actually just texted me and said he just wants to play guitar now. He's not going to drum anymore.
No, he's got to drum. Hell, right. We need you to drum for the band.
Eric Armstead called him before and said, I think you should play guitar.
Yeah, just play guitar, man. Just play guitar. You don't need
how stupid is this, man?
I know.
He's not an end. I don't care what he wants to play.
Well, why do they have to abide by that? You know
last I checked, do his paychecks come through? Do his paychecks from the Jaguars hit the account? Is that spendable money?
$18 million a year.
Is he under contract? Is he salaried?
Yep.
Okay, so do whatever they tell you to do, bro.
Right.
That's insane to me.
That's not happening. That's what I tell you all the time about when
it's ridiculous, man.
And the head coach aren't on the same page, wavelength, all that, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't work. It's never going to work.
I've grown up in an era of sports where players are empowered, right? Like the whole 2010s, Bill Simmons used to always call it the player empowerment decade, and it's a good title for the NFL, the NBA, and in a lot of ways that's been a good thing.
Yep. That
the players have taken some control, they've realized their value, and they don't get taken advantage like they used to in a lot of ways, and that is objectively a good thing.
Yep.
But BS like this is where it's gone too far. Yep. BS like Eric Armstead out there doing nothing but take up space. Yep. When he plays defensive end is insane. Yep. It's gotten to the point, Tommy, where it bothers me so much that every time I see him on the field at end, I just stare at him.
Right.
I just watch him.
But that's the whole problem. And I can't guarantee it, but I bet you this is why Mason Smith ain't playing. It's not injury. They're having some kind of push and pull. This is your second-round draft pick, and I'm not playing him.
He's
too bad. You don't like it? Too bad. I want Armstead to play tackle. You're telling me too bad? Well, now I'm telling you too bad because your big second-round pick, you know what? I'll wait till you're gone. And if I'm gone, so what? So be it. But this is the kind of crap that's going on.
I think Mason Smith is the victim of something that's going on above his pay grade.
Without a doubt.
Which is BS for him. Because
even if he's raw, you put him out there. He is a physical freak of nature. Now, he's not a dumb player like some we've had in the past that were physical freaks of nature. By the way, still playing in the league, Taven Bryan, that is. Why? Because he's a freak of nature. Taven Bryan's not in for his mental capacity. It's because he's big, fast, strong as a bull, and quick. And he can still do some things. That's why. And Mason Smith can definitely play ball. He's a problem for guards. He needs to stay a little bit lower. There's no doubt. He needs to work on some things. There's no doubt. But you can't tell me the other defensive tackles are more effective than him. No way. I've watched. There's no way. I'm not going to say that Hamilton doesn't make some plays. He does on occasion. You know, I'd like to see more. Ledbetter makes some on occasion. I like to see more. Jordan Jefferson, he's okay. He's doing a couple things. But they're not Mason Smith. Not from a physicality standpoint. And why wouldn't you want your biggest, baddest players on the field? Why? If he's getting thrown around, one thing, but he's not getting thrown around. I see Hamilton getting pushed back. I see Ledbetter getting pushed back. I see those two guys in the linebackers' laps on rundowns. That's not effective. I don't care if it's a double team. So there's something going on that's beyond anybody's control, and it's killing the organization. And I'm sorry if I'm Shad Khan, and I may fire my coach. I don't know yet. But I'm definitely firing the guy that told me I have the best roster ever assembled. You out of your mind? You're not even close. I don't even want to go through it. Our 90 squad, 99, 98, 97, maybe even 96 would wipe the floor with these guys.
99?
They would crumble.
99 would murder this team.
98, listen, we were 11-5. We were a really good team in 98.
Yeah.
Really good. 97 was iffy. 96, I'm not iffy. We were 11-5, but we weren't that strong. 96, we surprised a lot of people and just believed that we could beat anybody. And that's how that happened.
Well, you said something important, Tommy, a second ago. You said Mason Smith, he's raw. He has a lot to learn that he can learn. Yeah. How is he going to learn?
He ain't learning it on practice.
Correct.
You don't practice that hard.
Correct. He's not learning wearing a hoodie on the sidelines. No. He's learning by being in the damn ball game.
Yep.
And making plays and sometimes making mistakes that he can get coached through in film and get better.
Yep.
But he's a second-round pick, and you're not playing him at all?
Not playing him at all.
That's embarrassing.
It's just dumb.
I guarantee you, if you looked at the other 31 teams in the NFL, there's no other team that is healthy scratching every week their second-round pick. There's no way. Their second-round pick is either injured or they're playing.
You could probably get a second-rounder for him right now.
Correct.
So other teams would salivate at having that big of a human being that can move, that is strong. I'm telling you this. From the get-go, you're like, this kid's different. But whatever. They don't want to play him. Hopefully that changes this week. The other guys aren't getting it done. We're not good on third down at 43%. They throw the ball all over on us. We don't have consistent pressure. We stopped the run on occasion. We've done a pretty decent job overall. We're at 4.2 yards per carry. But we give up 28 points a game. So how do you win with that? You don't. You want to put it all on 16. I don't care how many yards he throws for. I just want him to be efficient. I want him to throw touchdowns, and I want him to not turn the ball over, and I want him to complete easy throws. It's not him, so don't come at me. I don't even want to hear it because I'm sick and tired of you guys bitching and moaning about any kind of critique on number 16. He deserves it just like anybody else. He's got to make more simpler throws, but that's not the reason why they're 2-6. And we know the reasons why they're 2-6. You got a bunch of guys that aren't focused. You got a bunch of guys that maybe don't give a crap enough. They're not studying enough. How they run these routes this has been going on for a couple of years. It happened in camp with Ridley. He almost took out Kirk. The same damn freaking route set. Crossover with him not clearing out the safety. When it works great. They completed it later in the game. Whoever, I think it was Parker this time, he got the safety out of there. Here comes the crosser, pitch and catch, wide open, throw it in front of him, let him go up the field. Done. But not when they're together. Who do you throw it to? You're throwing it to a spot. You're expecting the crosser. By the way, think about this. How many times crossing routes, not slants, because a lot of guys can jump that, crossing routes. The majority of the time, the defender's in a trail mode. He's trailing him. He's not on his hip. He's not running stride for stride. He got fooled by the misdirection and got fooled by the crossover, and he's trying to catch up. All you got to do is put it right there in front of him. Well, you can't do it when the safety's sitting right there because they're not worried about getting beat deep. And by the way, the pick was Brian Thomas Jr. He comes inside on his route, supposed to release outside to get that guy the hell out of there and put the pressure on the safety to go back, and then my crosser's open. It's like a puzzle. Can't do it when they run and save. So how do they continuously do that? How? I mean, they're not worried about playing time, I guess. There's no fear of losing your job. You don't care enough. Care more about your individual, accolades than anything else. You can't win like that. Not in this league. Not in this league, man. Not in this league at all. It's very aggravating. Very aggravating. Because this team, I'm not going to, look, they could be 4-4 all day long. 4-4, and you wouldn't have been flexed out either. You deserve to be flexed out. Why be another embarrassment on national TV like you've been? Tell me you haven't. You have. Last time you were on national TV was an embarrassment. Chicago Bears beat your ass because you couldn't do simple things. I'm telling you. Little things add up, Grammage. They add up. And when you keep doing little things, going off sides, false starting, illegal motion, dropping the ball, not running the right route, not being in the right spot, not knowing your coverage, they just add up to losses.
Well, but the good news is
2-6.
The good news is, Tommy, before the primetime game, before the Bears game, they were so competitive up in Buffalo. That was such a fun, competitive game the Jaguars played then.
It's kind of the same margin of loss. So, I don't know. I just don't have faith in them. For the first time ever in the confidence picks, first time this year for sure, maybe forever, I picked the Jaguars' opponent to win and gave that the highest confidence pick. I normally pick the Jags the high. I just felt like it was a click. It's going to click. Last week, I had them winning 30-27. And they lost 30-27. I just thought it was going to click. It clicked later, but you too much damage early on. You couldn't get out of it. Came back, we couldn't finish the deal. And it's on a D for not finishing. I agree with that. But until this team shows that they're going to do whatever it takes to win, I don't know if I'm I'm not picking them these next few games. Houston, maybe. Houston's got some dents. There's some cracks in that armor.
Detroit is going to slaughter us
right
team.
at home, too.
They are going
be like,
to.
Hey, let's run up the score.
They will annihilate this team.
Yeah. I got Indy beating Minnesota this week. I don't know if Minnesota's as strong as we think, but I think they're better than us.
They're coming. They had the 5-0 start, and they're coming down to earth.
Yep.
But where they sort of land will be interesting. Are they going to like crash and burn? Are they going to kind of hover, be an average
I don't see
team?
that coach crashing and burning.
I don't either. I
like him a lot.
I think they're like a slightly above average. They're like a B+ team, I think.
Agreed.
B+, A-.
Agreed. They can give you a hard time, but they're not going to go out there and dominate, so to speak.
And they'll make the playoffs and get to maybe win one game or something. And get
I do like what Indy did with AR, and I don't know if I would replace for the season, but I definitely set them down for this game. You can't do it. You just can't. You can't do that.
Well, it's tough for the Colts because they're 4-4.
Yeah.
There's a world where they can make a run here and go to the play. If they were like the Jags record right now, it's like whatever. Let's just get our guy experience. But at 4-4, like
you got to go with Flacco.
Can we forgo? How can I look at my players in the locker room with a straight face?
Right.
When they all know for a fact Joe Flacco gives us a better chance to win.
No doubt.
How can I look them in the face every week and ask them to give me your best, give me everything you got, put your body on the line
when you're not? Right.
Can't do it.
You can. They won't believe in you.
People when GMs draft projects and say you got to let them play and get through the bumps and bruises, even if they don't have a lot of experience and the production's low and whatever, like Anthony Richardson, what's not factored in there is that you have a locker room of 52 other guys that play every Sunday that you have to.
Let me tell you something. Locker rooms, there's no, they may not do it to your face, but if you're not owning up to your contract, there's a lot of scoffing as you go by. In the meeting room, the coach is kissing your ass, and the other player's like, whatever. He's so overrated. The last thing you ever want to be called by your peers in an NFL locker room is overrated and not worth the money. And I'm telling you, that stuff happens, and you're literally, I guarantee you, there's guys, I keep bringing up Eric Armstead, but you're like, why'd we pay him? Why'd we pay him? I don't think they're doing that about Josh Hines-Allen because he's getting close, but let's be honest, his production hasn't been anywhere near where it should be. Trayvon Walker's been producing. I like the way he's been playing.
Well, for the love of God, can I see all three of them on the same D line?
For the majority of the game, not just, a few snaps. I know.
And then I can see if this D line is something.
Because your defensive lineman wants to play in. What I say on Monday,
BS
you go from playing
man.
70% to playing 3 plays on the inside or whatever it was. He went to the GM and complained. And then you hear Ryan Nielsen talk, well, the player wants. You're like, the player wants? Are you out of your mind? What's this world coming to? Look, here's the thing. I've been thinking about this too. Like, it's got to be tough, especially in college, but it's got to be tough in the NFL with all the money that's being made. And how do you motivate your guys? Right? Because it's human nature to sit there and be like, well, I got paid. Hey, you having a bad year? Does that bother? Yeah, it bothers me, but I got paid. You know what I mean? It happens across the league. It's not just on one team. But how do you motivate them? How do you motivate them? I know how I would motivate them, okay? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You're in a room full of former players. You could have Pro Bowlers, Hall of Famers, first team whatever. You know who trumps everybody? The guys with the Super Bowl rings. Because everybody wants one, no matter how great of a player you are. Hall of Fame trumps pretty much everybody. But Super Bowl, wearing a Super Bowl ring. Gerald Ingram, the running back coach for the Jags and the Giants, who won 2 Super Bowl rings for the Giants. Everybody wanted to see Gerald's rings. They did. They passed him around. I mean, everybody that's played the game wants a freaking Super Bowl ring. And every year it stings, the Super Bowl coming around, it stings that we were so close to not there. That's what you're going to be remembered. Nobody talks about the contract. I don't know how much money Tony Baselli made in his career. I have no idea. I don't know how much money Fred Taylor's made in his career. I don't care. I have no idea. But I do know what kind of players they were. I do know what they did on the field. I do know what kind of guys they are off the field. They wouldn't be my friends, nor my them. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's important. Hey, it's great to have the money, man. But here's the thing. The money's going to be there for everybody. Even the guys that aren't that great, they're getting paid. They're getting paid money where they probably they could just retire. Look at Andrew Wingard. He's a solid player. He's not a superstar, but he got paid, and I'm happy for him. And he probably doesn't ever have to work again. Now, he cares. You can tell he cares. And I'm not saying there's guys that collectively don't care, but that's how do you get these guys motivated to focus in on what's happening, on what job they have to do? It's winning. Winning is the greatest cure of everything, especially in sports. You win these games, we're not hammering you over stuff. We may be critiquing, it's got to be better here and this, but it's not like, getting the blood pressure up. You got to focus in on what's important to you, man. And you know what? Yeah, the money was great when I was playing. I made more money as a NFL player in a single year than I've ever made, still, to this day. And I wasn't on the high end of the totem pole. It was great six figures, but close to seven, but not quite there. You know what I mean? I'm going to promote my team. What am I doing? So, the money, whatever. You got to, man. How about a legacy? How about, what people think of you as a player? I think that stuff should be important. And for some guys, it is. It is. I can tell. But not collectively. Not in our locker room. You don't make those kind of mistakes if you really care. You don't. You don't make those. And you don't continue to make them if you really care about your team and your teammates. You're letting your teammates down. So clearly you don't care about that if you continue to do it. Fair? It may sting you a bit, but what are you doing about it to fix it? Because it keeps happening over and over and over again. So I got to think that you're not doing shit to fix it. You're not studying. You're not going over it. You're not doing extra. You're going home and, whoa, look at me. I got all this money. I'm an NFL player. Woo, big shot. Guess what? It's going to be over before you blink. And you don't want to have regrets. I'm telling you right now, you do not want to have regrets about your football career. And again, you may be able to sit back and fall back on the contract that you had, but guess what? Other than the friends that kiss your ass, nobody gives a shit. They don't care. They do not care. Team Tommy Mack, a great group of businesses that I love endorsing on this show, on social media, out in the streets, a little biz dev as well, of course. They're always there for you when they are needed. Chris Lucero's Bail Bonds, the number one name in the bail game. I'm going to see him down at RV City. Good friend of mine who'll get you out of the clink quick if you get thrown in the clink. He'll get you out in a blink. 904-822-2245. Carpet Man Flooring, carpetman.biz. Two great locations over in Orange Park, right there on St. John's Bluff Road near the airfield. You can get the highest quality flooring, LVP. Carpet Man's LVP. Carpet, tile, hardwood, laminate, they got it all. Highest quality at the lowest prices. J-Dog, junk removal and hauling. Badass hat. Yes, it is. Thank you very much. Make sure you give them a call, 844-GET-J-Dog. Because when you have junk, they pick it up, they refurbish it, they give it to veteran families in need, and then they have the hauling side for all your construction debris. Azar Sausage, the number one sausage in town and beyond, whether in your favorite dish or in a bun. Azar Sausage is the one. Yes, I come up with these myself. And you can get them in Winn-Dixie and all other types of local grocers. Code Ninjas, codeninjas.com. Make sure you check them out. They are fantastic after-school programs for your kids. Learn about coding, learning about technology. Give them a leg up, man. They get outside, too. They run them around. They get some exercise. But they make sure they're inside, learning Roblox, Minecraft, all types of cool stuff. Making games, too. Newmark Phoenix Realty Group, my friends for over 20 years. They are the best commercial real estate firm in Northeast Florida. Let me tell you something, been together since 1993. They do it all, industrial, commercial, retail, investments, and office. They handle it all, including development. Give them a call, 904-399-5222. Freedom Finance, that's my friend Courtney Myers. That's right. He is one of these fractional CFOs, if you will, that can come in and help you with fundraising, help you with forecasting, help you with auditing. He's a bookkeeper. He's an accountant. He's an executive. He can do it all for you, you startups, early stages. Check him out at freedomfinance.llc. Great to have him on board. No question about that. Of course, we've got Salt Air Inn and Suites, a boutique hotel just off the beach in Atlantic Beach, 4 blocks off, 2 blocks, of course, from the action where I like to hang out, and it's a fantastic spot. Check them out. Fields Cadillac, they are my title sponsor for riding shotgun. They're also part of Team Tommy Mack, a great dealership right there in St. Augustine near the outlet malls and on Blanding at I-295. Family Tradition Specialty Foods, home of Coconut Joe's hot sauces on my table every day, morning, lunch, dinner. The Pineapple Ghost is absolutely incredible. The Sriracha is my favorite Sriracha. Make sure you go to their website, FamilyTraditionsSpecialtyFoods.com. And when you get to the cart and you see the little discount code bar, put in pound Team Tommy Mack and get a BOGO free. Love having them on board. Of course, Michael Nickus' State Farm Agency. He's been my agent, insurance agent, for over 20 years. You should give him a chance to be yours. 777-6888. His team's always ready to take your call and to help you out 24/7. Make sure you check out TommyMack.net. All of my sponsors, all my Team Tommy Mack are right there. Click on their logo. It'll take you right to their website. Yes, indeed. I got them all. All right, team stats as we look forward to this, and we'll wrap up this show. Points, yards per carry, yards per attempt, plus completion percentage, third down percentage conversion, fourth down percentage conversion, sacks given up, sacks taken, interceptions thrown, interceptions taken, and overall turnover ratio. It's amazing these two teams are not far off from each other. In some degrees they are. Some degrees they're not. Turnover ratio, they're at -4, the Eagles are. We're at -5. Not good at all, obviously. But they only have 3 interceptions. We have 2. Both quarterbacks have thrown 4 interceptions, but Jalen Hurts, 8 touchdowns throwing, 7 running. He's a beast, that guy. And, of course, our Trevor Lawrence having 11 touchdowns thrown and a rushing touchdown last week, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. On third down, we're at 32%. They give up 39%, maybe something there. And for us, we're at 43% on defense. They convert 37% of the time, maybe something there as well. Last week, we were 1-9 on third down. Terrible. You just can't win close games like that. Now, yards per carry on offense, very close. We're both around 5, and our workhorses both average 5.8, 5.9 yards per carry. I'm talking about Tank Bigsby, and I'm talking about Saquon Barkley. They give up 4.5 yards a carry, but the last 3 games, they've shut it down, so that's a little misconstrued number per carry. But there could be something there. I thought we should have pounded it more last week. Let's pound it more this week and open up that play-action pass, get our tight ends, and get our wide receivers involved. I hope Brian Thomas Jr. can go. We need him. We have nobody on the field or on the team to replace him. Yards per attempt, this one concerns me. We give up 8.1 yards per throw on defense at 70% completion percentage. Philadelphia on offense, yards per attempt, 8.1 at 70% completion percentage. So I think they're going to throw for 8.1 yards roughly per attempt at 70%. That's going to be a tough one unless we get to Jalen Hurts. He can take off and run too, so pressures don't mean shit this week. Get him on the ground somehow. Let's see. We're at 7.6 on yards per attempt. Trevor is at 63%, and they're at 6.7. There might be something there at 62%. They're pretty good on the pass defense. Fourth down, 8 of 16 for us. They're at 11 of 15 on offense. Defense, we're at 7 of 10. They're at 4 of 7. Kind of the same. Sacks, about equal. We've given up 18. They've given them 19. They've got 20. We've got 17. So on paper, not too far off, except where? In the win column. They're a lot different in the win column at 5-2 with 3 W's in a row. Once again, congratulations to Coach Coughlin getting to the next level. I believe you're a Hall of Fame coach without question. Cam Robinson, smell you later. Thanks for your service. I like parts of your game. I didn't like other parts. Walker Little, this is your time. I think you've played better this year, especially against the run. Pass, we'll see. We'll see. You're going to have to be on your toes this week. No question about it. Brandon Graham can get to the QB. They've got some guys up front that are pretty big, pretty nasty. We'll see if we can get it done up front as well. All right, that's going to do it for me this time around. Catching up with Tommy Mack. Off to have a good, fun day down at RV City. And playing Dad Bods tomorrow night. Jags on Sunday, full weekend. And looking forward to it. I wish you guys nothing but the best. I hope our team wins. I think they lose 31-16. I don't think it's going to be pretty. But, that's why we play the game. And with any given Sunday being absolutely true, you never know what can happen. Grammage, how you feeling about the game? What do you got as we wrap up here?
35-20. So not that far off.
Yeah, about the same. Well, hopefully we're wrong.
I mean,
we're wrong.
We've talked. How many times we've talked about on the show the teams that really embarrass the Jaguars are teams that can beat you up physically.
Yeah,
that's Philly.
They're physical.
They're really physical. Really physical teams up front are when things get real bad for our Jaguars.
And that's been the MO since Doug's been here.
Correct.
For the record.
Correct. That will not change.
I would change that.
That will not change.
If I was a coach, I'd change that right away. We'd be one of the most physical and well-conditioned team in the entire league.
Well, right, but he's been here 2.5 years now,
right.
And also had his entire tenure as a coach in Philly.
Yep.
Doug, I think Doug has certain things as a coach where he's good and certain things where he's bad, but he is what he is as a guy. He ain't changing what they're
really
philosophically. He's not changing.
I really think with Doug, especially him on offense, he's like, it works on paper, it should work on the field. But he takes out the human element. You know what I mean? I think that's the way he thinks. He's like, well, wait a minute. If we block it right, look, I can show you. I don't care what defense are. Put them in any defense, and I'll show you how we can block this up and make it work. Guaranteed. That's the way he's thinking. But you forget, guys miss blocks. They fumble. They, don't know who to block. They run the wrong. They do all different human error stuff.
Was it Ali or Tyson that said everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth? Yeah. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, right?
True. And Philly's going to punch you in the mouth.
My offensive line's got a great plan until one of them gets knocked on their ass in the first drive, and then they're not exactly the same the rest of the game.
That's right. All right. That'll do it, guys. Hope you have a great weekend. Go Jags. Look, I'm supporting them. Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. I break all my glasses, so these are the ones I grabbed today. But I'll wear them proudly. Hope you all have a great weekend. Peace and love. Be good. Stay safe. We'll see you next time right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mack. Have a great day and weekend. Thanks, everybody.